All right, welcome into episode 60 of the Avetts and Beyond. My name is Todd Emanuele, and it's a milestone episode, 60th episode, so I thought I would get a pair of brothers to join me. No, it's not those brothers from Concord, North Carolina. I'm trying, still working on that, but we've got a pair of brothers from Iowa, just as good. Christopher Mussmann and Tim Mussmann are here. Thank you guys so much for coming on this week.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Chris, I've been wanting to have you guys on since before like we came up with kind of the idea of this show together. Kind of. It was like a rough thing of what we were gonna do, but
We
and then
talked about
yeah, we've talked about it a lot actually, and wanted to have you on because you guys have a story about your first show that you went to, the first Avid show that you went to, that I've wanted to talk to you about forever. And I'm glad, Tim, that you decided to come on too, because it's perfect having you here. First of all, uh, you guys, how close in age are you?
it. So about 5 years.
5 years.
5 years apart. Who's older? Chris is older. Okay.
You
Who's
can't tell.
Tim? Are you the baby?
I am the baby.
Are there more than two? There's more than two of you, right?
Yep. Chris is the lucky middle child.
Oh, that's right, the middle child. Oh, that kind of ties into the conversation we're about.
Often forgotten.
Thanks for noticing.
My son is the middle child in my kids, and he has the same luck that you do, I think, with things when it comes to stuff like what we're going to talk about here. So anyway, your first Avid show, when was it? Where was it? And tell me why Tim made better choices that night.
He makes better choices a lot of nights. But yeah, our first show was in 2009 in Des Moines at the Hoyt Sherman Theater. So
Okay.
we had only been watching them for about a year, I think, or so. A little more than a year probably since we had like discovered them, which I give all the credit to Tim. So
Yeah.
that's why I drug him along.
Better decisions.
The first of several. You're probably or were there
Right.
other ones before that?
All along.
Yeah,
All along.
we don't need to get into every one of them, but so 2009, that first show. Tell me what it was like first of all before we hear about the poster fiasco.
Well, it's pretty amazing. I mean, we've been watching videos and all that. We hadn't
Yeah.
seen really any live stuff, or most of the shows that we watched on videos were pretty wild and such. But
What you could find. I mean, back then you had to scour the internet to find anything on them. It was a lot different. That's for
Stuff
sure.
wasn't just on YouTube back then.
Right. You had to dig.
but it was
Digging
pretty
anymore.
small. Pretty small. There weren't a lot of people there, and I mean, it was just a great overall feeling. Pretty much exactly what we expected or hoped for going to an Avett Brothers show.
$25 a ticket.
Was it really? Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know when pre-sale was. That wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah.
But we had
No guild.
second row. So
No guild line or anything like that, I assume.
no,
Too,
nothing
right?
like that. No sticker trading.
There were still people, even in the second row, there were still people taller than us in front of us. But
Right.
so apparently that's never changed.
That always happens, right? That always happens to me. That's luckily though, I've only been to two Avid shows and we've been on the rail for both of them. So no one's been in front of me but security guards and photographers. So can't complain about that.
Nice.
So anyway, so that night, do you remember the songs they played? Like you must have the set list somewhere because of Tim and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I could look it up right now, but anybody could do that.
Right.
But yeah, it was great. And we were getting some, looking back, we were probably getting some stuff leading up to the release of I Am Loving You, which of course we didn't know at the time, but
Right.
Yeah, it released 2 days before our show.
yeah.
So
Did it really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
But we had no idea. We were still living on the classics. So
Right.
it was pretty great.
That is pretty cool that's kind of like a claim to fame type of thing there. So the poster for that show, tell me what happened here.
he's got it right there.
Is it?
Well, there were two posters for that show apparently. We walked in, and I'm more of a hat, sticker, T-shirt guy as a general rule back then for sure.
Yeah.
And, my posters I had hanging on my wall in the basement were Anthrax and Metallica and
Yeah.
such, and they were stuck on the wall with pins, and they most likely came out of some Guitar World magazine or something.
Right.
So when he's buying this show poster, this show print, and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool, but if you only have $60 or $50 or whatever to spend, you're going to get your shirt and go brag about that. And he bought this print, so silly. Until now, it's there's 40 of them. It's numbered of 40, and
see, that's nuts. Like that's such a limited run. They don't do that anymore. They're like 300 or whatever at the shows.
Yeah.
200 or 300.
And they're still
40
tough
though.
to find. Yeah.
And I go out and ask every year on Facebook to find them. There's been a couple have come up in conversations, but nobody knows where they're at.
Yeah, that's hard when there's only 40, and who knows if people held on to them or what. So, but
Tim happened to bring his.
I happen to hold on to mine.
Look at that.
Every time I swing by Chris's house, I bring it with me.
Yeah, right. Of course you do.
That's number 5 of 40. So there are more out there.
That's pretty cool. What is it? I mean, not that they've come up for sale very often because there's only 40 of them, but what do you think the worth is, the value is on that?
I have no idea.
For anybody watching the show, probably $40 or $50 if they have one and want to sell it to me.
40, yeah, of course, right. 40, 30 even, maybe.
Yeah, probably not that much.
Well, Chris looks for it a lot. I would say I'm a close second. I'm always looking for one for him.
That's nice.
Yeah, I look for it. Well, it might be his. I don't know. But every time I go to Google and search it up, the only example of it is a picture of my print. So
really,
yeah. So I don't know. I think mine's the print off of the November Blue server too.
Oh wow. Now, Chris, have you ever thought of like scanning a copy of it and at least framing a copy of it? Or is that just, you can't do that?
I just asked him last week.
Yeah.
I think just last week, I was like, hey, what do you think if I paid for reframing it professionally? If I could pull it out, professional scan of it, print one off, put your spec together, what would you think? He said, I would think you're not doing that.
Yeah.
So
I would think I would end up with the copy is what I think.
Yeah, you'd have to keep
track. I would give him the wrong one back, and I don't.
Oops.
I don't know what would give him that idea.
Put them in identical frames, so you just don't know. Tim, have you ever thought, have you ever felt so bad for him that you might gift it to him someday?
I have felt badly enough to look for a second one.
Yeah, okay.
But I maybe if something were to happen to me, I would consider it.
Oh, the will?
The will, yeah.
Oh gosh, let's not go there.
I am 5 years younger though, so
it's good. Yeah, maybe if he knew what I was leaving him in my will, he would, reconsider. Because it's gonna be great. My dad, he's gonna be so happy. We actually have a bet. The 3 brothers of us actually have a bet as to we have $10 in an envelope.
Yeah.
And whoever's left gets all the money. So all $30. So it's gonna be left. Yeah, because we want it to be a joyful day,
right?
And not a sad day.
The losers have to wear a "I lost" T-shirt.
That's okay.
Yeah, whether you're buried or cremated.
So the "I lost" T-shirt, like at the funeral type of thing. You're saying there with an "I lost" T-shirt on. That's that's dark. I like it. That's funny. Wow. You threw me off my train of thought there with that. So you guys are musicians, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. It's been a while since we've played anything together. So.
I don't know that I believe you now, the way you answered that. What do you guys you're in a band, aren't you? Or you were?
We are. We call our band the Wise Apple Riders. You probably don't have enough time on your show for that story. But
go for it. We got all the time in the world.
We're the Wise Apple Riders. So there's I would say there's 4 of us technically in the band. Our cousin Mark plays the mandolin, and a good friend of ours, Bob, he plays guitar, sings along and such. The way I said there's technically 4 of us is because at the time, if somebody wanted to join in, then they were part of the Wise Apple Riders. So
if they could play something, they're in.
even if they couldn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was great.
You have an instrument. You're part of the band.
Our favorite place to play is around a campfire, and anybody can
Oh, that's
join
cool.
in that noise. So,
What do you guys play, guitar or?
I play guitar, occasionally harmonica, and Tim's a banjo.
Banjo, and
Oh,
we both
nice.
have ukuleles. But
Now, did you start playing banjo because of the Avett brothers, or has that just been something you've always been into?
no, that's actually how I found the Avett brothers.
Oh,
I was well, they were the Avett brothers back then.
oh, right, of course.
Yeah.
Way back.
It starts that way for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were at the first show before I realized it was Avett. But anyway, I bought the banjo in '08, I think, because we were, like Chris said, we were going to play around a campfire, and he already had the cool instrument, the guitar.
Yeah.
So I picked up the banjo, and it came with a how-to book that got old real quick. It was row, row, row your boat type of stuff. So started going on the internet and found Distraction 74, and that just kind of started it.
That's how you just randomly found it?
Yeah, it was after digging and trying to find people who covered other songs.
That's crazy though.
Yeah, it just happened to come across.
It was exciting too. It wasn't like a group of songs that he sent me to look at. Like when he stumbled across it, he was like, "You have to check this out."
Huh.
And it was like a morning news show basically.
Yeah,
and it was the four of them, and they played Distraction 74, and
I think I know the video you're talking about where it's like a North Carolina local station type of thing.
Yeah, I believe that was it.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a great video. If you Google search that one or on YouTube, I love that video. But that's like so serendipitous. That's a big word. For me at least, it's a big word.
Oh yeah,
it is.
But just think that's crazy that you found that song randomly, and here you are all these years later, big fans of the Avett brothers still, and they're a big part of your life, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, after that moment, we both went out, found as much sheet music as we could on them. We have a binder. We each have a binder, full of all of their songs. That's for the guitar, for the banjo. So when we're sitting at the fire,
or any show that we played, they were probably 50 to 60% of the show. Our other music's like old timey music, your Swanee River and Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley, and those type of songs. But
and row, row, row your boat, of course.
Yeah, that's right. That's probably our favorite cover.
That's the big banjo solo right there.
Right, that's the encore. We usually hold off on that one.
It's enough.
So Distraction 74 was the first song that both of you heard then and were instantly hooked.
Instantly.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's great. And again, that video is awesome. And they played, what is there, 2 or 3 songs on there? I'm trying to think of what the other ones were that they played. I can't.
Yeah, I think
right
on
now.
the particular clip we saw, I think it was just the one.
That, yeah.
Was it? Oh, okay.
The partial clip.
We of course went and found more, but that
Yeah.
was that one and he sent.
That's awesome. I think there is a longer version of that. I'm getting that. Well, when we get done, I'm gonna be looking again because I've watched that video like 100 times probably. But boy, can you get lost in an Avett Brothers YouTube rabbit hole or what? Like there's still, I've been a diehard fan for the past 4 years or where it's all I started listening to them 4 years ago, and I'm still discovering new videos on YouTube that I didn't know existed. And it's like, how? I watch them all the time. How have I not seen this before?
There were all across the Cardinal sessions and the ones in the back of the truck and the they never end. Yeah,
it's great, and they're kind of ahead of their time with Cracker Farm, just constantly filming them and recording them. I don't know if they planned on just having everything documented like this, or if they were trying to plan documentaries like May It Last. A lot of that stuff probably went to that, but I think they were ahead of their time with recording long time ago, all through their career. And I think it's great. Do you guys record your campfire shows?
We've only recorded a couple songs.
Yeah, we've got a few
for different reasons. There are some recordings we played. This year is a 10-year anniversary. We played a bluegrass festival every year in Fulton, Illinois. And 4 years ago, we actually kicked the show off, and the Way Down Wanderers were there.
Oh, nice.
And that was basically the start of their career. So
you started their career.
They were still the big thing. they were big enough to. They were the big thing there. Like they got the little fake church as their green room, and the rest of us all got ready under a tree, you know, or whatever. But
Those guys are awesome, by
they
the
are
way.
awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big change for them. Obviously, I had John and Austin on a couple weeks ago, and we talked about everything. It was like the day the news was breaking about Colin leaving the band, and it was shocking to hear. Like they told me about it the day before. I'm like, I won't say anything, you know, if you don't want me to, but they're like, well, he's releasing a statement tomorrow. It'll be after we record, so we might as well talk about it. And that's a big change. That's got to be scary for them going out on tour right now. Their new album comes out tomorrow, the day we're recording this. It's tomorrow that it's coming out. And here, one of the key guys, it's like Scott Avett leaving the Avett brothers.
Yeah, they start their tour tomorrow too, don't they?
Big change they do. Yeah, it's the first day of the tour. So that was a timing wise was tough. I'm sure that had to be really hard for them to take. But hey, what are they going to do? They gotta keep going. So they're just going to take it in stride and see what happens. They're still incredible, but
Yeah.
I hope that they don't lose fans. I mean, you guys are fans of them, so do you think that's going to hurt them losing Colin or what?
Colin brings a huge personality to the
Yeah,
group, but you know, the skill level and the people that John brings in with the spoons and Austin brings in
yeah,
with his voice and, you know,
absolutely.
personality and all that, it'll leave a hole, but I
It's not
think
insurmountable. I don't think.
yeah, it's not insurmountable, and I don't think there's any hard feelings. I mean, the family there, really, when it comes right
Right.
down to it. So
They
Yeah,
are. Yeah.
we were lucky enough to catch them. What, maybe 3 weeks ago?
just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they were
Oh,
in
nice.
Davenport here locally, so we were able to see them together as a band, which was nice. But
Was that like the last show?
it had to be pretty darn close.
I think they might have played the next night, but
Oh,
yeah,
so
we
it
got
was like
set
one
list
of
signed
the
by all of them, so that'll be
Yeah,
one of the last shows. Wow. And you never know what'll happen. Maybe someday he'll come back. But they say he's going to continue in music, so it'll be exciting to see. He's got such a unique voice.
Mhm.
Colin does, and Austin does too.
yeah,
Uh,
they both.
their sound is really good. And I wish him nothing but the best, obviously, and can't wait to hear the whole album tomorrow, when it comes out. All right. So you guys have kids, right?
Yep.
We do. My
Did
youngest
they
just turned 21
Not
years
together
old.
though.
No, not together.
not together? Oh, that's
No.
good. That's comforting to know that. Um, man, you're good at throwing me off here.
I mean, we do everything together, but
Not everything. That's good. Good to know. Man, I forgot what I was going to ask you.
We
Uh,
have kids.
your kids, do they like the Avett Brothers too? Because I know a lot of this, like my kids, my daughter Kylie comes to shows with me. Kendra, my oldest daughter, came last year and she enjoyed the show, but she's not a big fan of them. My son doesn't care. Do your kids enjoy them?
You know, first.
You guys,
um,
whoever wants to go, yeah.
my kids have been to shows with us. My daughter, if there was a show tomorrow, would sign up and join us for sure.
Yeah.
Um, my son is actually not a huge fan of just live shows in general. He
Okay.
loves music. He knows everything about music. We call him a music snob, but for the most part, he's not going to go to a live show, other than one or two select bands. But
Like
they
even
do enjoy the Avett Brothers.
the Avets are so much better live, though. I can't believe that. I mean, their
Oh,
albums are awesome. I love them, but seeing them live is totally different.
yeah, it can make you like songs of theirs that you were on the fence about, like
Exactly.
instantly. So
Exactly. How about you, Tim? Your kids
Yeah,
fans?
we went to the Chicago show in 2 years ago now, 3 years ago, a couple years ago as families, and my kids got to go with one night to. It was a 3-day show, and they got to go one night with us, and yeah, they were tearing up to it.
Really?
Yeah, they
How,
absolutely.
how old are your kids?
Now they're 15 and 17. My daughter will be 18 here in just a couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
She would go to any live show I would offer her to go to. My son, he's not a big music guy, but when he's downstairs working out or whatever, you can hear the Avett Brothers through the floorboards.
Nice.
So
He works
so
out to the Avett Brothers.
yeah,
That's
I,
different.
I don't even do that.
no, I can't do that. So.
Yeah, it's raining today. That's a good workout song. I picked a bad one for them, but anyway,
Yeah,
so that's
they're
cool. So
polar opposites, but
so
they
your
that's
kids
just
are?
yeah, they're polar opposites, but they both like the Avett brothers.
Well, that's good. That's good. Um, so let's see here. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? Boy, uh, the poster. So if anyone out there, like we mentioned, what is the show that you were at the first show that the poster you're looking for? I want to put it out there to see if someone maybe knows someone that has
I
one.
can pull it up again.
So it's June 26th, 2009, Des Moines, Iowa. Sherman Hoyt
There's
Theater.
a glare on that, or
It's designed
I
by
can see.
Subject Matter Studio. I actually reached out to them and I got no response at all.
Really, I
But
checked out like on the website, their website, it shows the print there, but
yeah,
then there's like nothing about it.
and they're inactive. I mean, they're still in business and all that, but yeah, nobody replied to my nobody replied to my help ticket. So
You're begging on
yeah,
their
please find
email.
one under the floorboard or whatever. But
Shouldn't there be like an original somewhere like that they made the prints from,
I would take it.
right? Well, that would be incredible.
then I
So
would trade you.
Yeah.
yeah, see, that's a whole nother story. We went in 2010 to whichever show that was. Was it Chicago?
Milwaukee?
Milwaukee, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, Milwaukee. And they actually had their pretty famous 2010.
Is it that one right there?
Yeah, but not that poster.
Oh.
Remember they had the 2010 winter tour poster
Okay.
with the lady on it. It was actually, I think it's a
Oh.
Scott carving print, and they
Oh,
had
yeah.
they had one of those there, and my wife instantly told me, she says, you should be collecting Scott's art, not this other stuff. That's where the money's at. And I just couldn't part with it. The next morning I realized what I had done. And so I sent an email to Ranger and I said, hey, I did this. I screwed up. Please forgive me. Is there any way that you can hook me up with buying this thing? And his response was immediate. And he says, let me see what I can do. And I think it was like another day or two, and he got back and he was like, "I'm sorry, they're all out of them. I
Oh,
tried to track one down and all that, and wasn't able to. But which I thought was super cool. Here's the recording manager of the Avett brothers that we're seeking after, and he's trying to track down this
yeah, that is cool.
for me. So
Dolph's an awesome guy, though. He's so nice.
I have been able to find one of those. So I can't find my first show poster, but I have one of those.
But you
So.
found that. Oh, that's good. The most impressive thing out of that whole story that you just told was you said your wife told you you should collect his art, and that
Oh
blows
yeah.
my mind because my wife would be like, "You're not spending money on that."
Yeah, no, she saw it right away. I think if I had listened to her, I'd probably have, all the pieces like Matthew Morrison has and stuff.
Yeah, man.
All the Scott pieces. It would be like I'd just have them sitting around because it would be just stuff we bought at the time. And
I
who
have
would have known?
one piece of Scott art. It's a print that it was from one of his art shows. Girl Looking Back, that one. It's
Yeah,
a picture of his daughter Eleanor looking over her shoulder, and it's cool. It's all different colors and stuff. So I have that signed and numbered. That's the only piece I have from him, but I'm very happy to own that.
that's a good one.
How many pieces of his art do you have?
That's it.
Oh,
That's
just the one? Okay, I thought you said you had other ones too. Okay.
No,
I have as many as you, huh?
yeah,
How
yeah,
about
we're
that?
tied. Mine's bigger than yours, so.
Well, that's what she said. One more time, you threw me off again, man. You guys, you guys got to be fun to hang out with. Uh, I imagine. How many shows do you guys get to a year? Avett shows or other shows, just shows all together. Are you always going to concerts together?
Well, most of ours have been together.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're just kind of looking at it. Obviously, we're not in the level of like Liz or anybody like that.
Not many people are.
It looks like I've been at like 22 and Tim said like 24.
Yeah.
But I'll hit 5 more this year. I'm going to David at the beach and
I
Iowa
was just gonna
State Fair
Iowa
and
State
the
Fair.
Alpine Valley. So
And what? I'm sorry, I keep talking over.
Alpine Valley.
Oh, okay.
So
So beach
I'll
is
get,
3 shows or 2 shows?
well, it'll be a total of 3. Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember if they play every night. but that's gonna be awesome. Are you guys both going to the beach?
I am not.
Oh, okay.
No, that's on the list, but
Yeah.
it's not going to happen this year. Our daughter graduates from high school. And she picked Disney World, so
Oh,
at 18,
wow.
that's where
That's
we're going.
that's cool. That works. My son's graduating from high school this year, so we're not going anywhere because we don't have any money. Because my oldest daughter is also going to be a senior in college, so
Oh
all of
wow!
our money is tied up in college at the moment.
Oh yeah, I bet.
That's why I've only been to two Avid shows. One of the reasons. Anyway, so Chris, you picked the music for the episode. We only have like 10 minutes left here on the show. It just flies by every time we get into a good conversation. So you picked all the music for the show. I always have guests pick the music. Tell me the songs you picked and why you picked them. And I always ask the guests to pick songs that mean something to you or inspired you, whatever. Tell me what you picked.
Okay.
Do you have your list in front of you?
I do. Tim
Okay.
and I
Great.
actually worked on 'em together.
Oh, good, good.
I kind
Okay.
of threw at him, what I was thinking. He came back with a couple other, and we settled on what we thought kind of summed up us. So the first song we picked was, and I don't know if you can play them in these orders or not, but
I don't know.
Spanish Pipe Dream with the Avett brothers singing it.
Love
Obviously, it's
that.
a John Prine song. We
Yep.
love John Prine, and just a great tribute to him by a great band. Um,
Great
and
song.
then we also picked the second Avett Brothers song, the Distraction 74,
Makes
because it
sense.
pretty much was the kick it of everything. So I don't know that either one of us would say it's like after everything that it's our favorite song, but
No, but it's definitely
definitely the one that it's the catalyst.
Yeah,
Right. I mean, that's what started it all. For me, it's 10,000 words. Like, it's not my favorite song that they have, but it's the first song that I heard and I absolutely fell in love with it. I'm like, wow. I knew who the Avett Brothers were and I never listened to them before. And it took me until 4 years ago to listen, and then it instantly got hooked. So it took me a while, but I'm glad I got there eventually. So anyway, Distraction 74. What's next?
All right. William Elliott Whitmore. He's a fellow Iowa boy.
Okay.
Um, pretty big. He's done some huge shows, but he always goes back to his roots. We're going to see him a couple times this year. But the song is "Digging My Grave." He makes reference to the Iowa dirt in the song. So,
Nice.
Yeah,
so that was
the cool thing about him is he reminds me a lot of the roots of the Avett Brothers. He's one guy, got a big kick drum, his banjo, and his guitar, and that's all it is on stage.
That's
And
very cool.
it's just really grungy sound, and I love that
I
sound.
can't wait to hear it. I'm not familiar with him at all. And that's why I love asking people to pick songs because the audience, me, we learn music, new music, and I love hearing new music. So thank you for picking people that I don't know. I look forward to now hearing that description. I'm really excited to hear that one.
It's pretty neat. He does like woodworking in his downtime, and
Nice.
I think he lives in a house he built with his own hands on his parents' farmland.
That
So I
sounds
mean,
familiar.
you don't get much more down to earth. Then next we went with Pokey Lafarge. He's not an Iowa guy, but he's certainly Midwest. Grew up on the Mississippi River, which you know I guess it ties us all together. And the song is Central Time, um, kind of for obviously reasons. It was pretty hard to pick a song, but that kind of locked it in. Just it's one of our favorites. We've seen him live.
Numerous times.
Yeah, I don't even know how many times, and we're going to see him again this year. We have tickets to see him in Davenport, Iowa, so
Cool.
we're going to go to that.
That's another one I'm not familiar with, so I'm excited to hear that.
Oh, you'll love Hokey.
And
Can't wait.
then we went with Violent Femmes.
Heard of them.
It's another favorite band. You've probably heard of them, though.
I've heard of them.
Um, we don't have tickets yet, but Tim and his daughter Ada that he talked about are going to see them in Peoria. They're kind of like an all-around favorite band. They were probably one of my wife's favorite bands, years before I met her, before I pronounced Femmes right.
How
And
did you pronounce it before?
like Femmies, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure they were the Violent Femmies. But
I like that.
I remember being a little kid when their name album came out and it was on cassette, and my older cousin had it in her room, and we stole it and hid it because we were just a little pain in the butts. So it's kind of funny that it comes back to be like one of our favorite bands. So we always catch them up at Summerfest. We catch them anytime they're around. So
Yeah, that's the cool thing is with us going to the shows together. That was the first concert my daughter went with us to Summerfest,
Very cool.
and then she got with Chris and I and her and everybody else. We got right on the gate for that, so she front row experience.
Lock it in.
Instantly fell in love with them. So
that'll help being in the front row. Man, there is
oh,
nothing,
absolutely,
nothing like being in the front row for a concert.
for the
That
right
is-
performer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
that was another band to pick a song for, but Country Death Song is probably one of our overall favorite songs, and just had to pick it. So hear it, play it on your show. So
It's
We
dark.
will play. We will play. It's dark.
It's dark.
Kind of like your sense of humor,
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit.
from what I've learned tonight, at least.
And then last but not least, we went with Reverend Horton Heat. He's like a rockabilly,
Yeah, I know.
like the grandfather of rockabilly.
Yep.
So many songs. We've seen him live a few times, and great stuff. But I finally chose the song with that one, and I was like, can't really tie it back to us or Avetts, but Galaxy 500. We can all tie that back to,
Sure.
well, recently one of Seth's drawings on the
Yep.
on the song release. So that's
Actually a Scott drawing.
What was that, a Scott drawing?
It is, yeah. Dolph just
Okay.
said that today officially. Everyone kind of speculated that it was Scott, but no one said for sure. But Dolph said today that it was art by Scott. So
Okay.
Yep.
So
So I like how you put a lot of thought into these songs. I really like that.
I took
Not
it
a
as
lot of
home.
people do that. You really dug deep here and found songs that mean something. I like it.
And it's tough to stop at 6.
Right?
Yeah, we could have given you 20.
Yes, I said, give me 6. Narrow down all your favorite songs to 6. Go. And maybe I'll play them all.
Right.
We'll see. But I love it. You guys are great. Thank you. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for coming on. It was fun meeting you in person. We've talked a lot on Facebook over the last couple of years, and like I said, we talked about starting the show, and wanted to have you on for a long time now. And I love having fans on of the band. Like I haven't had fans on in a while. I've had some other guests and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I like getting the perspective of, where you were for your first show, the first songs you've heard, stuff like I really like hearing these stories. So
Well, if you
appreciate
decide to go with the whole pro-am idea and you get Scott and Seth on there, think of us.
Yeah, yeah. Well, brothers and brothers, right? I'm working on the Scott and Seth thing someday. I'm not discouraged yet. I know they know about the show. That's a step in the right direction. I had Dolph on, and I was worried like Dolph would be like a tipping point. Like if he didn't like the show or didn't enjoy it, there's no way they would come on. But at the end of the episode, when he said, "Have me back in a year and we'll do a recap of the year," I would love to do that, and he really enjoyed it. I'm like, there's a chance. I got a chance. So
Nice.
maybe someday. Maybe I'm thinking like episode 100. Maybe, I don't know. It's got to be a milestone episode, and that'll probably be the end of my show when I have them on, because how can I ever top that? Having you guys back would be close.
That's right. 101.
101. The Mussmann.
Back in 2009, I think it was. I wrote Scott a letter, and they actually sent me back a handwritten like Christmas card.
No, they did not. They
Yeah,
did.
So if you want me to write a letter to get them on your show, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, that's great. Well, like I mean, I could just ask Jim, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like, "Hey, Jim,
Weird. Yeah.
can your sons come on my show?"
Only if the rooms are clean.
Well, we'll have to have Tim talk to Jim. He doesn't like me as much as he likes Tim. So
You know what? I was not gonna go there in this episode because we've had a lot of conversations about that too. But
we'll talk about it in 101.
yeah, well, episode 101, after we have the Avett brothers on and the Mussmann brothers come back, why Jim doesn't like Chris.
I might have told him you're the middle child.
I'm going to change that at the beach.
Nice. So you really wrote Scott a letter and they wrote you back a card.
Yeah, both of them did. They, one card, but they both signed it, and wrote Merry Christmas.
Drew little
and,
pictures on it.
Yeah, drew little pictures in the corners.
It's crazy. I've never seen anyone else say anything about that. Like now everyone's gonna start writing letters to them. They gotta
might.
just
I
find
think
their
they
address.
stopped that in 2009.
Right after the
Yeah.
restraining order, I think.
Yeah, we were a little bit stalkerish back then.
Yeah, kind of fanboyish back then, but
That's why Jim doesn't like you. Oh,
Ooh.
that whole restraining order thing of 2009. Okay, it's
Get
all
over
coming
it, Jim.
together now. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. And yeah, down the road, we got to have you back on and more stories from you from out on the road. And hope you, I'm not talking to either of you specifically, but I hope you win your little family contest there and become $30 richer. I'm not talking to either of you specifically.
Yeah, I know. Wink, wink.
I appreciate it.
Here's to the future.
All right.
May you
Thank you,
become
Tom.
$30 richer. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you down the road. Thanks a lot.
Yep. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.